Check out that 4x4. That is hot.
Oh, hey, Marty. Yeah, it's sizzling, isn't it?
Someday, Jennifer. Someday.
Jennifer? My name's Drew. Just 6 months ago, this was an old, worn-out 1997 Toyota RAV4. But like Marty says, check out this 4x4. It's just beautiful. And for this RAV4, beauty is more than just skin deep. And that's because before I got to the fun stuff like the vinyl wrap, I spent months toiling away in my freezing garage, just getting a baseline on all the mechanicals. And just to make sure I have a thorough recap of everything I've done to the RAV4, I've created a little list. Spark plugs, spark plug wires, valve cover gasket, PCV valve, air filter, water pump, thermostat, oil pump, oil pan gasket, timing belt pulley, timing belt tensioner, one accessory belt, the other accessory belt, front engine seal, O2 sensor number 1, O2 sensor number 2, exhaust system, catalytic converter, new front brakes, new rear brakes, oil change, transmission oil change with Toyota specific fluid, front differential oil change, rear differential oil change, new all-terrain tires, new struts and shock, new springs, new radio. Actually, it might be faster just to list all the things I haven't fixed on this car. But now that all that work has been done and the vinyl wrap and KC driving lights have been installed, it's time to get RAV4x4 out on the road for its first drive as a completed project. And to really set the mood, I've worn this TRD t-shirt that really doesn't fit me properly. All right, here we go for our first drive of a completed Project RAV4x4. I can already tell you, I feel much cooler in this now that it's got this vinyl wrap on it. It just doesn't seem like an old dorky SUV anymore. Most of my time on this project was addressing all the mechanicals, not only fixing leaks and that kind of stuff, but just doing a general tune-up with new spark plugs, wires, and everything associated with that. And I can say it's had absolutely no effect on performance. This thing just is so slow. This had like 120, 130 horsepower when new, something like that. It's obviously lost some of those ponies over the year, and it just doesn't have a lot of performance to give, especially here comes an uphill stretch, and if I want to keep going, I really have to whip it at that was 5 miles per hour faster I went. One thing that has improved is the RAV4's ride and handling. This new suspension just makes it feel so much more taut and connected to the road. It doesn't waller all over the road anymore. That's because it's got new struts, new shocks, and new springs that, even though make the car a little bit taller, because they're firmer, it actually makes it corner a little bit flatter than before. And because this thing doesn't weigh anything, it is pretty fun to chuck around corners. The steering's really numb, but other than that, it's really fun to drive over these back roads. Certainly more fun than a new RAV4 is to drive. And because this is just a fully refreshed 1997 Toyota RAV4, when you peel back the stickers and take off the KC driving lights, it's actually really nice to drive. I love the size of this vehicle. It's so small and so maneuverable. It's just great to drive a car like this again. They don't make them this small anymore. And despite it being such a small car, it doesn't feel like it in here. It feels really airy thanks to these tall windows everywhere, and it's got a really high roof line, so I have tons of headroom. So even though this is a really small car by modern standards, it feels spacious in here. 20. If I had to pick one more upgrade to do to Project RAV4x4, I think it would be sound deadening. It is just so loud in here. It's amazing that this was an acceptable Toyota vehicle 20 years ago. It just booms over everything. Every jolt rattles something. It's kind of amazing, actually. And so that's a first drive of a completed Project RAV4x4, or at least a mostly completed Project RAV4x4. This still has a problem with its rear limited slip differential, but I'm gonna hand that job over to my mechanic just to make sure it's done right. And once that's fixed, or even if it isn't, I'm gonna get Project RAV4x4 into the wilderness and see if it can off-road as good as it looks. So be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of that, and as always, thanks for watching.